In the age of ancient Israel, a young boy named David, the youngest of 8 brothers, shepherded his father Jesse's flocks in the hills near Bethlehem. The sun shone down on his curly dark hair as he hummed psalms and songs to his God. Though he was young, his heart radiated a deep and abiding faith. David's days were spent tending sheep, practicing his lyre, and honing his skills with a slingshot as he protected the flock from predators. Unbeknownst to him, this seemingly ordinary boy was destined for greatness. Our story begins at a time when King Saul ruled Israel. Saul had disobeyed God, and the Lord sought out a new, faithful king. God sent the prophet Samuel to Bethlehem and told him to anoint one of Jesse's sons as the future king. When Samuel met Jesse and saw his sons, he first thought favorably of Eliab, Jesse's eldest son. Surely, he thought, this strong and tall young man is God's chosen king. But the Lord told Samuel, "Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Jesse presented 7 sons to Samuel, but the Lord rejected them all. Samuel asked Jesse if he had more sons, and Jesse reluctantly mentioned his youngest, stating, "He is tending the sheep." As David approached, Samuel felt God's presence confirming, "Rise and anoint him. This is the one." Samuel anointed David, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him from that day onward. Yet, David returned to his sheep, knowing his journey was only beginning. Sometime later, the Israelites found themselves in a dire situation. They were at war with the Philistines, who sent their champion, a fearsome giant named Goliath, to challenge and mock the Israelites. Goliath, dressed in massive bronze armor and wielding a spear like a weaver's rod, stood over 9 feet tall, striking fear into even the bravest of warriors. For 40 days, Goliath defied Israel, calling out, "Choose a man to come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." David's 3 older brothers were among the soldiers in King Saul's army. One day, Jesse sent David to deliver food to them at the battlefront and check on their well-being. Upon arriving, David witnessed Goliath's challenge and the fear it instilled in the Israelite soldiers. But to David, Goliath's defiance of the living God was intolerable. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine," David exclaimed, "that he should defy the armies of the living God?" Word of David's boldness reached King Saul, who summoned him. Saul was initially doubtful. David was just a boy, while Goliath had been a warrior from his youth. But David recounted how God had delivered him from the paw of the lion and the bear while defending his sheep. And he declared with unwavering faith, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." Reluctantly, Saul allowed David to go, dressing him in heavy armor. But it was unfamiliar and cumbersome, so David chose instead to face Goliath with only his staff, sling, 5 smooth stones, and immense trust in God. As David approached the battlefield, Goliath surveyed the boy with disdain. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" he bellowed. Yet David's confidence remained unshaken. He replied, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands." David ran boldly toward Goliath. He reached into his bag, took out a stone, placed it in his sling, and hurled it with precision. The stone struck Goliath squarely on the forehead, and the mighty giant fell face down on the ground. David quickly seized Goliath's sword and cut off his head, ensuring victory. The Philistines, seeing their champion defeated, fled in terror, and Israel triumphed that day. David's faith and courage, despite overwhelming odds, had saved his people. The story of David's victory over Goliath became a defining moment in his life. Though years would pass before he officially became king, David's fame spread throughout Israel. He would later face numerous trials as he ascended to the throne, always relying on God's guidance and protection. From the hills of Bethlehem to the palace in Jerusalem, David's faith was a cornerstone of his journey. What can we learn from David's story today? Despite his youth and inexperience, David trusted God in the face of an insurmountable foe. Instead of succumbing to fear, he turned to faith, understanding that God's power was far greater than Goliath's strength. We are reminded that no matter how daunting the challenges we face, faith can empower us to achieve the impossible. David's life is a testament to the fact that God doesn't look at external appearances, but values what's in our hearts. It also reminds us that God often chooses the most unlikely individuals to accomplish his will. Just as David was a young shepherd boy chosen to defeat a giant and lead a nation, we too can be used by God no matter how unimportant or unqualified we may feel. All we need is faith, courage, and a willing heart. So the next time you're faced with a giant in your life, a seemingly impossible situation or overwhelming obstacle, remember the story of David. With faith in God, the courage to take that first step, and the knowledge that the battle belongs to the Lord, you can overcome anything. Let David's story inspire you to trust in God's plan and to stand boldly in the face of adversity. After all, even a shepherd boy can become a king when God is on his side. And now, before we end, let's reflect. Who or what is your Goliath? What's holding you back from stepping onto the battlefield, from seizing that slingshot and trusting God to guide your stone? Remember, faith is the slingshot, courage is the stone, and God is the force that carries it straight to the mark. Just like David, you are capable of far more than you can imagine when you walk with the Lord. Thank you for watching this episode of Bible. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video to inspire others. And don't forget to hit subscribe for more deep dives into these timeless stories of faith, courage, and hope. God bless you, and see you in the next episode.